we get healthy grapes without spraying by growing flowers in our vineyard. So flowers, they attract wasps, little tiny wasps, whose larvae, whose sons, will feed on the insects that are harmful for the vineyard. Insects are funny. Adult wasps do not feed on the insects that harm the vineyard, are just their babies. So we grow the flowers for the adults, enhancing the babies to feed on the pests we may have. So it's a perfectly natural and balanced way of controlling the possible insects that may harm our grapes. And it's pretty. There's another way we have to help the vineyard grow without pressure from insects and without obviously spraying any chemicals on the vineyard. So this is a very funny wire because it's made of female moth smell. So the smell of a female moth is not something you want to smell. It stinks actually. But this very stinky wire, when we place it on the vineyard, what it does, it fills the vineyard with female moth smell. So when the male moth comes searching for the female in order to mate and have children, he will never actually find the female. So he will not mate, they will have no children, and that means there will be no worms in our vineyard that may harm our grapes. So this is a perfect organic way of helping our little tiny grapes that you see here to grow completely healthy and tasty without spraying, without using any chemical compound that will go into the wine. So yes, these are the old bush vines we grow at Neleman. And what does bush vine mean? It means that the shape of the canopy is like an umbrella that's keeping the grapes, the fruit, inside the umbrella. So the fruit is protected from direct sun exposure. We want this protection because we want aromas to be kept in the berries. And if grapes are directly exposed to the heat, to the sun, the aromas, they just disappear. They fly up into the atmosphere and they're gone forever. Yes, so this autumn has been particularly rainy here in Valencia. Here in Casas del Rey, because we're up in the mountains, we haven't had that much rain. So that means that today grapes are crunchy, they're pretty, but they're still stiff. So they're full of flavor and just ready to be harvested. In fact, we started harvesting yesterday, Monday, and this plot will be the last to harvest. And if you see, we can get an approach to the berry. So you see that the seeds are starting to be ripe and that the color is already going from the skin into the must. And yes, this is telling you that grapes are ready for harvesting. It'll be a lovely red wine.
Diego,
Yes.
can you tell us about the Dino?
About the Dino. Well, as you can see behind us, at the top of the mountains, we're about 950 meters above sea level. So this means that very ancient soils came from down beneath and were pushed by the continents while they moved, and ancient soil was risen from the bottom to the top. So in fact, we're standing on soils that are between 150 and 200 million years old.
Wow.
So this means they come from the Jurassic times. And well, you know, you've all seen the movie Jurassic Park. So dinosaurs were walking 200,000 200 million years ago on these very same soils where we are growing our bobal. Okay. So today is March the 9th and we just planted 10 days ago the 2020 trees that will compensate or offset all our carbon footprint. So this is a public ground that belongs to the town hall. So, and what we do, we calculate our CO2 emissions, okay? And then we calculate the amount of trees we need to plant every year to offset all those, so to make it neutral. And every year we plant on public grounds in the natural park the amount of trees needed to trap the CO2 we are releasing by doing our agriculture and winemaking.
Yeah, and a question that a lot of people have, how do you calculate how many trees for a bottle? Or
we take into account the amount of CO2 released by actually making the glass bottle, which is the biggest amount. Then the second biggest amount is the amount of diesel that needs to be burned to send a bottle from Casas del Rey, Valencia to the Netherlands or to other country. So all that is calculated, is taken into account, and then is compensated by these baby trees that were planted just 10 days ago.
And why this kind of tree?
Because they are the natural trees that go here and that can develop here. All this planting is guided by the natural park. So we plant the species that the natural park wants us to plant. Yeah.